Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we'll be talking about the famous lemons of the Amalfi Coast and the products made from them, most notably limoncello. I'm very lucky to have my cousin Giuseppe Bruno, one of America's greatest restaurateurs who owns one of the world's best Italian restaurants, Sistina restaurant and Caravaggio restaurant. One of the best restaurants of any cuisines. I highly suggest you go. It's on Manhattan's Upper East Side. I did a truffle video on it. If you really want to know if a heaven exists, I suggest you go. And for a memorable experience. One of the reasons why he has such great food, it's his personality, his technique, and wisdom, and experience, yes. But he only gets the very best ingredients. He spares no expense. And there's a reason why, because he cares about it. And he knows all the stories about it, because don't forget, my cousins, my family, all of them, they all grew this stuff. All this stuff, look at this softball-sized lemon. It's the size of a hand, and they're usually bigger. They grow it all, so he knows all about it. He knows all how the cow is raised, how you grow the zucchini, all of it. That's what makes a real chef. People talk about farm to table, and Giuseppe Bruno really is it. Now, the Amalfi Coast is known as not only the most beautiful place in the world, but they're also known for having the best lemons in the world. Of course, Sicily makes outstanding lemons. Spain, Greece, California, but the Amalfi Coast is like the Ferrari, and the second best is a BMW. Still great, but it's not a Ferrari. Now, the Amalfi Coast is always had a lot of meaning for me, especially the lemons. I love lemons, and I love the coast, and they go hand in hand. And I grew up going there all the time, spending time there. My mother's from near there. Giuseppe Bruno's from near there. My wife is from there. I got married from there, and the theme to our wedding were the lemons. And the color blue from the Mediterranean Sea. And I shared that stuff on Instagram. People love it, so I'll keep sharing it. And we got married in the town of Vietri, world famous for having the best ceramics as well. And Stanley Tucci just came out with this show called Searching for Italy. And the cake that he has at the end of it called Delizia al Limone, that was actually my wedding cake. It's the size of a fist. I got like 100, 150 of them and put them together and made this big thing. At the Lloyd's Badia, one of the world's greatest places to go to. And people love it. I've been sharing, talking about it a lot, and they want to know. And unless you have an Amalfi Coast lemon, you'll never really know why and how it's so special. So I suggest you go. If not, go to my cousin's restaurant, Sistina, because he actually just got written up again in Forbes magazine as an ode to the Amalfi Coast because of how much he cares about that land and the foods from that area. So definitely check it out. I remember as a kid, I would watch my aunt, one of my favorite aunts, Zia Dolores, eat these out of hand. And I would come back to the United States and I would try to eat them. And I'm like, oh my God, this is horrible. Why? Because the lemons there are not like the lemons here. You can eat these on the Amalfi Coast out of hand, like an apple. Why? Because they're very sweet. They're not as sour and they're not as tangy. Yes, it's a lemon, but they're not as sour, not as tangy. They have double the amount of essential oils, which is why they use it to make things like limoncello. And they have double the amount of aromatic compounds than your average lemon. So it's very aromatic and very flavorful, sweet, very few annoying seeds, and very juicy. So it's really unbelievable. And on the Amalfi Coast, which as I said, it's like the most beautiful place in the world, you see these steep cliffs. And on the other side, you see the shimmering blue of the Mediterranean Sea, and that drive is known as the most scenic and beautiful drive in the world. And you have to understand something. Those steep cliffs, yes, it's great because of the lemons, but the real reason why it's great is because the roots of those trees, they go deep into the soil and they hold up the structure of those dangerous cliffs. Think about that. If it weren't for the lemon trees, God wouldn't want to know what would happen to those precious towns down below. So they're actually keeping it safe and the people safe, as well as being beautiful. And so not only the roots, but with the help of nets and to protect the destructive forces of wind and hail. You know, the olive farmers have to always worry about hail too. It's a big problem. They use willow branches to tie the branches of the lemon trees together to form these pergolas so that you can get more sun. And the microclimate is very important. The winds from the mountains and the sea, it all affects it. And of course, the most important thing is the variety and the actual farmer. The farmers there are known as I contadini volanti, which means the flying farmers. You have these people, some of them are in their 80s. I met them, they're the salt of the earth. And they have to manually harvest on these dangerous steep cliffs. They're hanging off, trying to pick these lemons. So when you want to know why I make videos at night when everyone's going to sleep, and I don't have a big studio, and I'm not showing my breasts and muscles and cars and stuff, this is information because I want you to know the sacrifices of people and the passion that they have to put together things that are very important. This is very important to me. If you've been to the Amalfi Coast, you'll know why it is. And I suggest you do it because each lemon tells a story, just like each wine that we have tells an important story. So they're known as the flying farmers, and they deserve all the respect in the world, as all farmers do. Now let's talk about the variety. The main variety, which accounts for 75% of the production in Italy, is called Femminello. Why is it called Femminello? Two reasons. One, it's a very productive crop. Produces a lot, up to 6 crops a year. Two, it has the characteristic pointy nipple at the end. You see? So it gets that name. Now, there are many subvarieties. Femminello is just a grouping of varieties. There's Procida, which has a very white, it's named after the island of Procida. The white part of the lemon, once you take off the peel, it's called albedo. It has a very bread-like. In fact, they call it pan di limone. They make salads with it. Sicily has its own Femminellos. They have Zagara Bianca. Just recently I posted on Instagram about my friend Alberto Galufo. Makes this wonderful lemon olive oil where he takes the skins of the lemons and he kneads them together with the olives. And they have other varieties, Scandura, but the most important for sure are the two on the Amalfi Coast. Sicily makes red oranges, but the number one in the world, the Ferrari, is the Sfusato Amalfitano. It's called Sfusato. Sfuso comes from fuso. The pasta fusilli gets its name from that. It means spindle. It looks like a spindle. And the other one is the Ovale variety on the other side of the coast, of the Sorrento coast. They also have another sub-variety of that one, and it's called Santa Teresa. And it's great because it's actually resistant to the famous mal secco disease. And people love it. But the Sfusato Amalfitano is a little more loved, but they're both incredible. The ones from Sorrento happen to be a little more tangy, but all of them are sweeter, and more aromatic, and have more essential oils than any other lemons anywhere else in the world. And you can eat them out of hand, like I said. Also, let's not forget that for lemons, the European Union has 9 protected designations of origins, and Italy alone has 6 of them. That's how important it is. And then, of course, you're talking about the Amalfi Coast lemons. Now, the people of the Amalfi Coast and the surrounding areas they're known for including lemons into everything. Why wouldn't you? I told you about the Delizia al Limone cake they do. A few months ago, I posted a spaghetti al limone. It's a classic recipe from my area. And when you make it with these lemons, in America, it's a little different. But when you make it with these lemons there, forget about it. Just this, a little olive oil, believe it or not, a little butter. The Amalfi Coast, they are famous for their cows and cow's milk from Agerola. So they do have some dairy, and it's very good. The most famous product is limoncello. In fact, I'm going to make my own limoncello. My wife's going to make it, and I'm going to take credit for it with these. But this is called Badia, and we sell it. And this is not a commercial product. In fact, there's a lot of sediment there. And people think, oh, why is it a little gooey and gunky? And it's completely normal, so don't worry about it. It's made with a lemon peel, alcohol, and sugar. And it's used as a digestivo after dinner. You have a little bit, you serve it straight out of the freezer, and it's a wonderful thing. You can make all kinds of martinis and stuff with it. But on its own, straight out the freezer, it won't freeze. It's very good. They also make a cream limoncello, which I don't have right now. We're waiting for the shipment. That's also very wonderful. It's usually 35% alcohol, I think. Yeah, it's usually about 35% alcohol, so it's a little less than vodka and stuff like that. And you only have about an ounce. Again, it's very important to know that the Femminello variety is the Jesus Christ of lemons, if I'm allowed to say that. That's how important it is. Remember, it's very productive. It produces 6 crops a year. They name it by the harvest. Like you can have the bianchetti in from spring, the verdelli. Those are very interesting. It's a great process. They use a process called forzatura, where they, especially in Sicily, where they starve the trees of water during the summer for like 2 months, and then all of a sudden they douse it with water, and boom, it's very bountiful and has a big crop. They have bastardi, marziani from the month of March, so it depends on when it goes. But lemons are very important. I did a whole blood orange video about, so citrus is very important. Limoncello is very important. Stop by. Our staff is very knowledgeable. I got me and my brother and the staff. We can all tell you about the limoncello. We don't have a freezer, so we can't really let you try it. Although I'm wondering how it will be from the refrigerator. But stop by. We can talk about limoncello. If you haven't been to the Amalfi Coast, you should go. I'll give you the itinerary of anywhere you want to go in Italy, but definitely the Amalfi Coast. And in the meanwhile, stop by Sistina restaurant. You will definitely thank me. And in fact, if you really want to thank me, you can take me because it ain't cheap, but it's definitely worth it. Oh yeah, and another thing. I invited my cousin to my wedding in Italy. He didn't come. I did another wedding here for the people who couldn't make it there, and he still didn't come. You want to know why? He's married to his restaurant. That's his wedding. Every day, that's all he thinks about. And his customers pick up on it. He's known to work all into the night, not even sleep. 6 o'clock in the morning, he's buying fish in who knows what state or wherever, and he comes back to the restaurant. He's married to the restaurant. That's the love of his life. And you will get to meet his food. You will love it. And you will thank me. And hopefully you'll take me too. So here I am enjoying this Amalfi Coast lemon like an apple. You can eat it like an apple. That's how sweet it is. I already have been enjoying it. You can't do that with lemons. Certainly not American lemons. I mean the peel, the albedo, which is the white part, and the whole lemon, and it's wonderful. Oh yeah, one more thing. All this stuff that I've been doing about the food, I did the wine. The food's coming next. That's my next project. When I first put out the wine book, I gave it out to like 50 wine stores in the city. I mailed it out all over the country. They didn't want to carry the wine book. It just so happened, the odd coincidence that they started selling wines they didn't have before with my descriptions in the book. Well, this next project is going to be a little harder to fake. You know why? Because it's coming all from my heart. My heart and my head. And 40 years, over 40 years of passion and experience that I lived through and that my family lived through. And I have it all recorded. Everything I ever talk about, I lived it, I know it, I study it and research it. And I can't wait for my next project to come out. And I can't wait to share it with all of you.